Hello, everybody. I have made this video today to walk us through how to write a paragraph using a tide organizer. So the first thing that you are going to do is select a habitat to write about. Remember, you've watched videos about 3 different habitats: the forest, the ocean, and the Arctic. Mrs. Leary has decided to write about the forest. You don't have to write about the forest. You could do the ocean or the Arctic if you would like. Next, I'm going to read the prompt. The prompt is right in your lesson plan. Write a paragraph describing how animals have adapted to survive in that habitat. Since Mrs. Leary picked the forest, she's going to change her prompt to write a paragraph describing how animals in the forest have adapted to survive in the forest. Then I'm going to pull apart the prompt. I'm going to make a do what. Our prompt is to write a paragraph describing how animals in the forest have adapted to survive in the forest. So my do is describe. That's my action. And my what is how animals in the forest have adapted to survive. So I'm going to put that right down here, how animals in the forest have adapted to survive. Next, I am going to make my tide organizer. Remember, your T is your topic introduction, your I is your important evidence, your D is your detailed explanation, and your E is your ending. I have 3 I's and 3 D's because I am going to pull 3 pieces of important evidence from the video. Then I'm going to write a topic introduction using my do what. Here is my do what. Remember, all we have to do is TTQA. We turn the question around. So I turned the question around using my do what, and I came up with my topic introduction, which is animals in the forest have adapted to survive in many ways. Then I'm going to go back to my tide organizer, and I'm going to plug in my topic introduction into my organizer. Next, I'm going to listen to the video again to find important evidence. I'm going to go back to the forest video and pull out some important information to answer the prompt. Remember, always go back to the prompt to keep yourself focused on what you need to do. We are going to watch this video together, and I'm going to stop at points when I get to important information. Okay, I'm actually going to forward through it a little bit because I know that they don't talk about animals until about a minute through. So I'm going to go forward a little bit. Maybe not. Okay, I'm going to start right here. I'm going to forward a little bit more. A little bit more. Okay, now they're talking about animals. Okay, I'm going to stop it right there because they're talking about one animal, which is the brown bear. So I'm going to make a note to myself, brown bear. And I'm going to write change diet depending on what's around. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop there because now we're talking about beavers. So I'm going to write down beavers and tree bark, and I'm going to keep going to see if there's any more information about the beavers. So I'm going to write down that beavers collect food in warm weather and that they have food all winter long. Okay. Okay, I'm going to stop there. And we have the ruby-throated hummingbirds. And I'm going to put migrate. Hummingbirds migrate. Okay. Now I'm going to keep going. Okay, I'm going to stop the video there because now she's talking about plants again, but I have gotten information about 3 different animals. So now I'm going to go back to my tide organizer. So I'm going to put the important evidence I found in the video into my tide organizer. Remember, you shouldn't write complete sentences in your tide. So here, my first piece of important evidence. Remember, bears change diet depending on the season. Important evidence number 2 is about beavers. Beavers collect food during the warm weather. And important evidence number 3, birds migrate in winter. They go to a warm place. Now remember, these are 3 different animals, 3 different ways animals have adapted to survive in the forest. Remember, always go back to your prompt. Always go back to your topic introduction to make sure that your important evidence supports your topic introduction. Okay, next I'm going to put in a detailed explanation, which is my thinking about the important evidence. Remember, you don't have to do complete sentences here. So what Mrs. Leary did, the important evidence was that bears change their diet depending on the season. My explanation of that is that they eat what they can find. Important evidence number 2, beavers collect food during the warm weather. My explanation of that is that so now they have food for the winter when there is not much food around. And important evidence number 3, birds migrate in winter. They go to a warm place. My explanation is that they fly to where it is warm because they don't like the cold. And I didn't even put that in because they don't like the cold, but you can always add it in. Okay? After that, I will write an ending or a wrap-up sentence. This is how animals in the forest adapt to their habitat. After that, I will put that ending in my tide organizer. So now my tide organizer is complete. So my tide is complete. So now what do? I write my paragraph. Remember, you should add more to your paragraph than you have in your tide. Your Tide is just an organizer. It just has your ideas. It doesn't have complete sentences, and it doesn't fully develop all of your ideas. So let's see what Mrs. Leary does here. So I have my Tide here on the left, and this is the paragraph I wrote using my Tide organizer. Animals in the forest have adapted to their habitat in many ways. Bears have adapted to living in the forest by changing their diet depending on the season. Bears eat what they can find. Bears also sleep during the cold winter so they don't have to find food. Beavers have adapted to their habitat by collecting food during the warm weather so they have food during the cold weather. Birds have adapted to living in the forest by migrating or flying to warmer places when it is cold. This is how some forest animals adapt to their habitat. So that was my paragraph. I could color code my paragraph with my topic introduction, my important evidence, and my detailed explanation, but I just left it the way it is. I did not color code it for this Google Slides presentation. So to conclude, see how I used my Tide organizer to write my paragraph? I didn't just copy the organizer. I added some detail to my writing that was not in the organizer. And that's what you should do. I hope this was helpful. Happy writing, and I will talk to you and see you hopefully soon.